is al-ilmu afdalu min al-mal bis-sab'a. This is after the hadith that Amir al-Mu'minin addressed Kumayl ibn Ziyad, al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. So it's in the same line, explaining why knowledge is better than money. Here, Amir al-Mu'minin says there are 7 reasons why knowledge is better than money. And of course, when we say in many of hadiths, for example, that there are 3 things, 7 reasons, things like this, this may not necessarily mean that only 7. These are some examples or some of the major, cases. Al-awwal, the first afdaliyya, the first reason for superiority of knowledge over money is أنه ميراث الأنبياء والمال ميراث الفراعنة. Knowledge is the legacy of the prophets. Of course, it is true that the prophets may also leave behind money, as we have in the case of Fadak. But the main legacy of the prophets is not the house or the money that they leave behind. It's their knowledge. And whenever you want to mention someone's legacy, you refer to the most important things that they have achieved in their life and they have left behind. So for the prophets, their legacy is knowledge. And this is why we have hadith, al-ulama'u warathatul anbiya. True scholars are the heirs of the prophets. They have inherited from the prophets. But money is the legacy of al-fara'ina, people like Pharaoh. When Pharaoh and people like Pharaoh die, the greatest achievement is what? Is not knowledge. The greatest achievement is money, palaces, gardens, jewelries, this type of things. So if someone is more interested in money and worldly gain through religion, he has come to a wrong place. If you want money, go to Pharaoh. If you want piety, if you want closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want knowledge as light, then go to religion, go to the prophets. This doesn't mean that religion does not secure your worldly interests. No, it means that religion is not something for which you expect dunya to come to you. So if you are only interested in dunya, leave religion. It's very bad if we use religion for worldly gain. If I, as a scholar, as an imam, as community leader, if I want to gain dunya through my work, through my tabligh, this is very bad. This is a great injustice to myself, to religion, to community, to everyone. But if I dedicate my life to learning and teaching and practicing, then whatever I need from dunya, Allah inshallah will give me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in general has undertaken provision of sustenance, in min dabbatin illa or ma min dabbatin illa ala Allah rizquha. But in addition to that, we have lots of hadith about Allah undertaking the rizq of people who dedicate their life to learning. So a student, a scholar, should have the least of worries when it comes to money. Whatever they need, the reasonable need, inshallah will be provided with. They will provide with, and even if there is a delay, we have to be patient. But Allah has undertaken this responsibility. So, legacy of the prophets is knowledge. Legacy of people like Pharaoh is money. Which one do you expect? الثاني العلم لا ينقص بالنفقة والمال ينقص بها. This is similar to what we had in the previous hadith. We said in the previous hadith that when you have knowledge and share, give your knowledge to others, teach them, write books, talk, make, I don't know, films, documentary, whatever. Your knowledge is not reduced because you are just sharing without losing. You give. And actually, the more you give, the better you learn yourself, the better you understand, the better you can preserve, protect yourself against forgetfulness, heedlessness, and so on and so forth. But money cannot be with two people. Knowledge can be in millions of people. I can share my knowledge with millions of people and I'm not going to lose anything and the knowledge is not going to be divided. But money is not like that. Money is worldly. Anything worldly cannot be shared independently. It has to be divided. So, if I have a cup of water, if I want to give it to other people, either I have to give all of it to people or I have to divide it. So, altogether, the amount of water is not going to be increased. So, when you calculate all the portions, should be equal to the amount of initial water, the initial amount of water. That's it. Therefore, when you have money and give, it's reduced. Of course, as I said in the last session, that when you give money for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is compensation for that. The money can be replaced, the money can increase, but not the same money. So the first thing is that money is reduced, but those who do it for the sake of Allah, then something else would come, maybe even more, or maybe some reward, maybe both. But basically, the first thing is that you have to give money. And if you use money for yourself, you eat, you drink, you spend on, I don't know, your expenditure, just to meet your needs without having the niyyah of doing this for the sake of Allah, then the money is consumed. It's finished. So, this is the second difference, that knowledge is never lost, never reduced, never divided, but money has to go through at least an initial loss. If you can claim it back because you have done it for the sake of Allah as a charity, that's another issue. But many times, it's just consumed. الثالث يحتاج المال إلى الحافظ والعلم يحفظ صاحبه. This was the point that we had in the previous hadith as well. Money needs a guard, a protector, hafiz, protector, a guard. If you have money, unfortunately, there are people who have interest in money, but they are lazy. They want to rob your money. When you have knowledge, first of all, fortunately or unfortunately, I think it's unfortunate, not many people are interested in money. in knowledge. When people go to someone's house and has a big house or big car, big garden, works in a famous company, receives lots of money and bonus, almost everyone, maybe 99% of people, they wish they were in the same position. And those who are lazy, then they try to somehow bypass the difficulties by damaging that person and take his position in the office, or for example, I don't know, by robbing and so on and so forth. Deceiving, offering him, I don't know, a kind of deal so that they can deceive him and take his money. With respect to knowledge, first of all, not that much interest. If you see a great scholar, not 99% of people wish to have his knowledge. Many people say, oh, look, this person has wasted his life. It's not that everyone appreciates knowledge. Yes, everyone without efforts and without losing anything would be interested. But when a little sacrifice is needed, many people say, no, you could have done something better. And on the side of it, you could have also learned. You should have had your, I don't know, secular studies, degrees, work, day and night, weekend, till you establish yourself. Your salary is very high salary. You have full-time, permanent job. And you have lots of savings. Then you also can do some Islamic studies. So it's not that everyone is so much interested when there is a cost. Yes, if there is no cost, everyone says, I wish I was alim. Secondly, even those who have interest, they know, even if they wish to do cheating, they know that cheating is not working. You cannot, for example, when an alim is not in home, go to his home in the night and rob his knowledge. Yes, you can rob his books, but you cannot rob his knowledge. You cannot hijack an alim and, transfer his knowledge to yourself. So, knowledge automatically is not that much in danger like money. There is not that much thirst for knowledge that is for money, unfortunately. Secondly, they know that by robbing they cannot take knowledge. Thirdly, money as such is not helping you. If you have millions of dollars or pounds, they don't give you even one single advice. Yes. Maybe you have to spend money and get advice from a security advisor. But then you have to lose money. Money as such is not helping you. But if you have knowledge, knowledge helps you with all different ways to secure your interest. Your body, your mind, your soul, your family, your community. In every different possible way, you would be able to secure yourself. So the third difference is that mal needs guard and protector, but knowledge itself is a protector. الرابع العلم يدخل في الكفن. This is very important. العلم يدخل في الكفن ويبقى المال. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Amir al-Mu'min alayhi salam says that when you want to depart from this world, okay, the issue of protection, all these things, but for dunya, when you want to depart from this world and go to your main residence, you want to go to your permanent, because dunya is temporary, you want to go to your permanent place of living, your eternal house. you need to take with you something that would help you. You cannot go there empty-handed. You cannot be poor there. You have to have something. You need provision. Okay. If you have money, does money come with you to the other world? Even if they put money in your grave, they bury money like, in the past, they used to do this. Even in some traditions, like, maybe ancient Egypt, they used to even bury horses with people so that when they are resurrected, the horse is already ready and a standby, so they don't need to look for horse. They used to put lots of jewelry. Unfortunately, still today in some places, when they bury people, they bury with them jewelries and suits, and even I heard they buy new suits, thousands of dollars, watch, ring, all these things, new shoe, everything they put in the grave. Unfortunately, this is waste. This person is not going to benefit from these things. So if you bury these things with him or her, or bury money or jewelry, no use. Even little use, no, nothing. But if this person is a true scholar, not false scholar, if he has light of knowledge, if knowledge has become part of his reality, he can take it with him. Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli Hafazahullah has a good point. He says, very good point. He says, of course, something that agreeable to other scholars. He says that when knowledge has become a malakeh, malakeh is a permanent condition or quality of the soul. It's not something very short or temporary. Sometimes you may have this experience for exam. You read, you remember for a few days or even a few hours, then it's finished. It's erased. Nothing is there in your mind. If knowledge becomes a permanent quality, is absorbed, is mixed with your flesh and blood, then this knowledge would not separate from you. This knowledge would come with you to the hereafter. Otherwise, the pressure of death would make you forget many, many things. Even you may forget your name. You may forget name of people. Don't be surprised. There are people who have had accident or they suffer from Alzheimer. Even they don't recognize their children. But the knowledge that has become part of their reality, not concepts like names. Names are concepts. But those knowledge that have become part of the reality, they remain with them. Sometimes I have mentioned this example that one of my friends, his father suffered a lot, in particular because one of his sons became martyr, and he had family and children, and of course you love your son. He was actually older than my friend, and he had also a child that was mentally disturbed, so this is also difficult. In any case, towards the end of his life, he lost his memory, and even he was not recognizing my friend, or sometimes, I don't remember exactly, altogether, or sometimes he was not recognizing him. But he said, in those days that he didn't recognize me, he used to recite Ziyara Ashura by heart. Can you imagine? Someone does not recognize his own son that has looked after him, brought him up, or maybe by that time he was 40 years old. He doesn't recognize him, but he can recite whole Ziyara Ashura by heart. Why? This shows that this man must have made a very close and intimate connection with Imam Hussein and Ziyara Ashura. That now, even if his body, if the cells of his brain are affected, if there is no good connection between body and soul, still the soul is so powerful in this point that can affect the body and bring those words into the tongue. Or Ayatollah Imam Kashani said, on TV, I listened myself to him when he was saying this, that when Imam Khomeini, in the last hours of his life, was not speaking to anyone, and maybe the last minutes, was even, according to the doctors, unconscious, not speaking, not showing any reaction. He said, we were next to his bed, and I said, "Oh Imam, it is now the time of the prayer." Then he said, Imam's lips started moving. What does this show? This shows they have made such a connection with prayer that even if to a body which is almost dead, a body which is almost not functioning, the power of the soul and the love of the soul for prayer is that much that even if there is little energy, any little connection to the body, the soul forces the body to move. So, these type of things would not leave you when you die. But money, house, cars, land, they are going to leave you. They are not going to come with you. So, al-ilmu yadkhulu fil kafan wa yabqa al-mal. Mal remains behind. Al-khamis, al-malu yahsulu lil-mu'min wal-kafir wal-ilmu la yahsulu illa lil-mu'min. Money is something that whether you are mu'min or kafir, whether you are good or bad, whether you are a nice person or vicious person, you can gain it. There is a hadith in Usul Kafi about Hubb al-Dunya, which says, Dunya has no value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why Allah has no hesitance and hesitation to give dunya to his enemies. Actually, Allah is more hesitant to give dunya to good people, because dunya, if it becomes excessive, is bad. Maybe this example is a good example. Imagine you have factories, not just one factory, of producing sugar. Okay? So you produce sugar in every country. And you have always plenty of sugar in your stock. And there are children and people who beg you for sugar. For you, if you give them in 120 kilogram or 100 kilogram of sugar, is no problem. Actually, you look for somewhere to get rid of so much sugar that you have, or your food. But you know that some people are going to use this sugar excessively. They will be obsessed with sugar, or they are already obsessed with sugar. They use it excessively. They will develop disease. This is like a poison if you use it too much. But still they ask. They beg. They cry. Your heart is broken. You see, they are crying to kill themselves with this sugar, excessive sugar. Okay. You try to do what is the best for them. But then you see some of them, this is the only thing that matters to them. If they don't get it, they have nothing else. They are not working for anything else. They have no akhirah, nothing. All their life is based on this. So say, okay, let's at least they enjoy these few days with eating sugar and using sugar and adding sugar to everything. They don't have anything else. Okay, at least enjoy these few days. But the people that you love more, the people you see that they have a future, the people that you see they have other aims in their life, then you are more reluctant to give them plenty of sugar. You give them just as it is enough. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only not hesitant to give dunya to people who don't love him, actually he is more prepared to give them dunya. Because dunya has no value for him. And these people don't want anything else. Allah has more concern for mu'mineen because they want something else. But mistakenly they think they should add lots of sugar to it, lots of white poison to it. So, mal يحصل للمؤمن والكافر والعلم لا يحصل إلا للمؤمن. Knowledge only happens for mu'min. Don't say, oh, I didn't know. I thought even those who are not mu'min can have knowledge. They can have, knowledge of secular subjects. They can have knowledge of even religion. Look at how many people are even very learned in Islamic studies. They are not mu'min. We are talking about true knowledge. We are talking about al-ilmu nurun yaqdhifullah fi qalbi man yasha. We are talking about that knowledge. That knowledge which comes from prophets. That knowledge which comes from heaven. Not knowledge which is just registered on the papers and then you put it in your brain. That knowledge that makes you a better human being. That knowledge that makes you more humble and more kind and more selfless, more patient, more tranquil, more peaceful, more approachable. That's knowledge which is only given to some people, not all people. As-sadis, جميع الناس يحتاجون إلى العالم في أمر دينهم. All people need ulama with respect to their religious affairs. Any person who has interest in religion, even temporarily, has to come to ulama. There are people that always have interest in religion, so they are constantly checking everything with ulama, learning from ulama. There are people who are not that much interested in religion, but a time comes that they need guidance, they go to ulama. When someone dies in their family, for example, when they have someone ill, when they need, dua, they come to ulama. But وَلَا يَحْتَاجُونَ إِلَى صَاحِبِ الْمَالِ. But it's not that all people need rich people. Rich people are needed not for religious affairs, not needed for spirituality. Even rich people are not needed for your worldly maintenance. You can rely on your own efforts and labor. You can work hard so that you don't need to go and beg rich people or, wait for their, favor. There are people that they work hard, but they never compromise about their dignity and honor in front of rich people or big companies. Yes, you can work, you get your salary, that's fine. But not, to bend your neck and head in front of them and bow in front of them. We all in society need each other. That's not a problem. We work, we get paid. But not that we let anyone to humiliate us because he's rich. Even we have hadith, man tawada'a ghaniyan li ghinah faqad dhahaba thulutha dineh. If someone shows humbleness before a rich person because he is rich, not because he is, for example, older than you, because he's a generous person, he's a charitable person. No, just because he's rich, you show him more respect. You show tawazu, humbleness. And therefore, you don't show the same humbleness to poor people. Man tawada'a ghaniyan li ghinah. I'm not saying to be arrogant, to be harsh with rich people. No, I'm saying that be humble with everyone. Be nice with everyone. Not that, with poor people or, middle class people, you are not humble, and only for rich people you are humble. This is problem. Man tawada'a ghaniyan li ghinah, the one who is humble before rich people just because they are rich, not because they are human beings, not because they are mu'min, not because they are older than me, not because they are doing charity work, not because I am, kind and humble for everyone. No, just because they are rich. فَقَدْ ذَهَبَ ثُلُثَ دِينِهِ. 2/3 of his religion has gone. It means that he has big problems. That why you are only humble before rich people. This is not just one problem. This is a sign, is a symptom of many problems. So try to be knowledgeable so that you can help people, because all people need in religious affairs, ulama. As-sabi', the last one, al-ilmu yuqaddi ar-rajula 'ala al-murur 'ala as-sirat, or yuqaddi ar-rajula 'ala al-murur 'ala as-sirat, wal-mal yamna'uhu. Knowledge strengthens the man, the human being, or strengthens the foot. Rajul means foot, rajul means man. It can be both. When you want to cross the hell, because Sirat bridge is over hell. And minkum illa wariduha. We are all going to be presented, exposed to hell. The way to heaven is to cross over hell. That's the bridge. And if, God forbid, we don't manage to cross, then we would be falling into hell. Or if that crossing takes long, it would be very, very painful. That's very much, of course, based on the way we have lived in dunya. Knowledge strengthens you, or strengthens your feet on going this journey, crossing, walking on the bridge of Sirat. Money is not strengthening you. Money actually yamna'uhu is a problem. I'm not saying 100% stops you. It can stop you 100%. It can at least slow you down. It can make it more difficult for you. In the Hawza, I mentioned this example yesterday, that when you have knowledge, you have light, this is like having feathers on your wing. It makes you lighter and lighter and makes the fly easier. So even if you are walking with those wings, your touch with the surface, with the ground is very little. You know, when you are, for example, driving very fast, even you see in some movies, you know, that maybe you have seen, the tire is somehow not very much touching the ground. When a mu'min with knowledge and the light of A'mal Saleh is walking on Sirat, he is almost not touching Sirat, he's flying. Kalbarq, like a thunder, like a light goes away quickly. But money and attachment, of course, to dunya are like extra weight. You have difficulty in passing, and then lots of tons of weight are attached to you. And you have to carry them as well. Either they totally stop you, or you have to suffer and sweat for every step. And sometimes you make half the step, and then you have to put back your step, because you see you are going to collapse. This dunya is keeping us. The Quran says, مَا لَكُمْ إِثَّاقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. Why you are so much attached to this earth, which means here dunya, of course. You cannot move. In dunya you cannot move, then on Qul Sirat you cannot. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah help all of us. We are all in need of help. Of course, those who are pious, those who listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prophets and imams and pious ulama, and take these things very seriously, inshallah they would be la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun, inshallah. But who knows in which category of people we are put. If you are mu'min, if you are awliyaullah, la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. But who knows, those who think they are awliyaullah, they have to be actually worried more. So we don't know what's our situation. We worry, but we hope, inshallah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would help us and make this journey easy for us. We hope that not only, inshallah, this journey would be easy for us, we can actually, inshallah, help other people in this process, so that the journey also, inshallah, for other people will become easier. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.